Harry Potter, the TV show. We saw the trailer. The trailer has been ratioed. Last I saw, it was what 200,000 likes.
No, it's like almost 250 likes to 202 down, but it's rapidly approached. It's going to ratio it eventually. And it's been ratioed on all the other, like HBO Asia, HBO India, stuff like that.
And it's being memed in a crazy way. And unfortunately, we got to talk about the race swap of Snape. Changes the story. Will it doom the show? Let's take a look at something real quick here. People are having fun with it. They're having fun. You mentioned UFC earlier. Let's watch this real quick.
I'm real Snape, and today I smash you.
The music is too much.
Is the music gonna get us?
Oh no!
What? These guys are not in the same weight class.
Oh no!
This is wild, man.
Man, Snape versus Snape. Let's go. Oh no! Oh man! Oh! Well, what do we? Okay, so what do you guys think? The trailer is, I think, for the most part, people really like what they're seeing. It's been criticized. It's kind of dark and muted colors. The score is not quite there, but the one thing that's been criticized, Snape, race swapping Snape.
Like, let's be honest, man. I think, look, if you took Snape out of it for a minute, the trailer was meh. Right, like I didn't get that same feeling I got when I saw the trailer for the original movie. The trailer was fine. It was I guess well edited and put together. I wasn't excited about any of the new actors playing the parts.
Nick Frost is a rough one.
That was really rough, and I was like, okay, whatever. It is what it is, man. It'll either do well or it won't. That's not the thing for me. Is I'm trying to understand the logic in this, right? Because there are already people who won't watch this show because they hate J.K. Rowling, right? So the people who were going to watch the show, you decide to piss them off by race swapping Snape.
Just the racists. That's how they see it, by the way. Just the racists will get upset.
So who is this for? Exactly. Because there are people who weren't going to watch it because of J.K. Rowling. They just weren't going to watch it.
Like people weren't going to play Hogwarts Legacy because of J.K. Rowling.
There is a slight difference.
That is gamers. Alan, that is so different, man. Like no beloved characters.
Look, first of all, I think this. Look, Harry Potter is a generational tale. You can tell it generation after generation after generation. There is an audience for this. And I think that group doesn't care what J.K. Rowling thinks. In fact, the world is starting to turn to agree with J.K. Rowling. Just ask the Olympic Committee. The other thing is, I don't know. I always feel like we're treading down. We're walking that line when the reason this show will be bad is because of Black Snape. Because that's the impression I'm getting. That's the impression people are getting.
It's not going to be bad, Alan. I'm saying it's going to be distracting for a lot of people who know.
Yeah, but I think like if it's good, people get over it. Yeah, I think that
I honestly don't think people will get over.
We want to get to a point where this idea of them lynching Snape is just they're not lynching Snape. It's just part of the story. I mean, that's ultimately where we want to be as a society. Where
that's not how people will react.
Hold on, but where we want to get in the society where everything isn't seen through the lens of race.
We're not there.
And that's where I'm trying to get to, and it just feels like we're moving backwards again.
I think though that there's in this discussion there's something that's been missing in terms of a black actor in the UK is different than how a black actor is perceived in the United States. For instance, people like Chiwetel Ejiofor and David Oyelowo. I remember watching a show called, well, it's interesting because it was called MI5 here, but originally in the UK it was called Spooks, which we couldn't have it because of racial connotations.
Oh, no.
That's a true story, by the way. And it ran 10 seasons. It's an incredible, it was kind of their answer to 24.
What year was that show?
I want to say it started in 2000, maybe.
Okay, because what you have to understand is that was true previously, but they have inherited our racial purview. Starting with George Floyd riots and now having no King's marches. So they do look at it now the way we look at it.
But I would say, but hang on a second. I would say that the thing about, first of all, Papa Essedu, who plays the new Snape, is a Royal Shakespearean trained actor.
I don't,
you know, and what you guys are going to see, what you're going to see is the reason that he was, I don't believe that he was cast simply because he was black. It's not a situation where you're doing Doctor Who. I think that this guy is when you watch black British actors and like I used Chiwetel Ejiofor and David Oyelowo as examples, but when I was watching David Oyelowo on MI5 or Spooks with his British accent, he was so different. Like he didn't have any, he was black, yes, but
he was a Martin Luther King,
not American black. He was a British secret agent. Well, he's MI5 watching this show. And I think that we're going to find that people are looking at it through the American lens of race. And I think that the way he's going to portray this is going to be very different. It's going to be hard for Americans to get past it, but I think the rest of the world, I don't think it's going to be a problem if the show is good.
I just wonder if all the actors out there,
they would have cast him as Kingsley Shacklebolt. Like that would be a perfect casting for him, not Snape. I think that he was 100% cast because he was black.
They needed a main actor that was black.
He is a great actor, right? A Shakespearean actor. They would have put him in the role of Kingsley Shacklebolt. Honestly, like that.
Maybe.
That's what I think. I think that he is cast. He was cast because he was black.
Kingsley's barely in it, really.
They wanted a more diverse cast in Harry Potter, probably because the movies were too white. That's what they did. So now we have a more diverse cast, and the UK has 100% adopted Americanisms and American racism, even though that didn't exist over there.
It's funny you mention that
they
because
have adapted that over there.
It's funny you mention that because every time I talk to someone who's not from the United States, the thing they always ask me is, why is America so obsessed with race? I watched 2 episodes of the UK Saturday Night Live, and it was somewhat refreshing because it wasn't it wasn't encumbered by American cultural this American cultural war we're under. They're just telling jokes. They're making fun of their leaders just as much as we make fun of ours. Sure, Trump is the devil, but so is every other political leader within Britain. They go after the royals. Like I said, I feel like we're just walking down a dangerous road when all we can say the reason Harry Potter is going to be bad is because of Black Snape.
Alan, fundamentally changing the character.
Let's take a look at this.
It's the one character.
Let's take a look at
the entire cast of Harry Potter.
Snape is almost the most important character in Harry Potter,
except for Snape.
And he's literally the second most important person of Harry Potter, aside from Harry and Voldemort himself, is fucking Snape. It's fundamental to every single story moment. And changing one little thing like this is a butterfly effect that changes a billion other storylines throughout the books. Sorry.
Let's take a look at this real quick, just to lighten the mood here.
Ron! That's Harry Potter. Are you really Harry Potter, my G?
Type shit.
None of
that, broski. We're all here on the Maybach Express for one reason and one reason only, and that's to go to Dripwarts, the School of Drip.
Maybach music.
These memes are wild, man.
Run! Harry Potter.
Okay. These are getting way too real, man.
But look, I say this, because I want to believe that it was done for the right reason. But yeah, when the show comes out, I may be eating my words, and I fully am willing to accept that.
Right. And Alan, my thing is, it's kind of like Stephanie said, there's other characters that this classically trained actor could have played. But the biggest problem here is we've had too many years of this, right? Like if this were a one-time thing, I think more people would be like, okay, let's give it a shot. Let's see what it, but we've had too many years now.
Look, I completely
of this kind of stuff happening, man. And honestly, there's no more goodwill.
Right.
There's no more goodwill.
I completely acknowledge that. I just, for some reason, this one feels different.
If I could say real quick, I grew up with the race swap, right? I mean, a lot of things I grew up watching that was happening ever since I was young. It started with Nick Fury and then it went on from there. And I don't mind. I've never minded as long as the character's cool, if he's interesting, and if the actor portrays the character well, right? And I guess we've yet to see if this guy's got it. But I think I draw the line when it's a gender swap, because we already don't get any cool guy characters anymore. Even when I was younger, I really didn't get very many either. So if they gender swap Snape, then I'd have a bigger problem with that, because, he's one of those characters that's a standalone, a necessary piece of the puzzle here. And, Harry Potter's full of like those guys that you remember and you kind of, that stand out in the film. And he's one of them.
Yeah, I'm curious why Alan all of a sudden thinks that this one was done in good faith.
Because it just seemed like they were going down the right road. Like I said, we did a whole look at the entire cast of Harry Potter, and it was just like, oh yeah, she looks like Hermione, he looks like Harry, he looks like Dumbledore, and then you get to the one character, and you say it's not him, and I'm like, look, if I felt like that this was more of a race swap, they would have done it to more characters.
No,
and they would have done
this is okay. See, I look what you just said. Yeah. And now they have to pay their DEI tax to offset the J.K. Rowling controversy. And so we're going to make Black Snape because he's the only main character that we can really
that's a way
swap
to
without
frame
even
it.
bigger
Yes.
problems.
That's a way to frame it.
And every single thing in the past 10 years is why I'm framing it that way, including the DEI officers
doesn't mean
that they still had at the time.
There are certainly obvious examples of that.
You literally did the D files showing their requirements, which were still all under play when this was being. It's your best work, actually. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why all of a sudden you're giving the benefit of the doubt. It's the same people.
I don't know. I mean, I think that, look, this is an HBO show, and HBO has never shied away from any kind of controversy in terms of what they've put in their programming. But they've also delivered us Tiffany entertainment. I mean, from The Wire to The Sopranos to many other different shows. And I think that in the case of this, they knew what they were doing. And I think if they didn't think that this actor is going to bring us, I think this is, you brought up Sam Jackson, box office. I think this is going to be the Nick Fury of the Harry Potter universe in terms of changing the race of the character. I think that actor is going to bring it. And I think after the first episode, people are going to be like, okay, you know what? I buy into this.
Yeah, I agree, Rob. They did not cast him before. He could be amazing and a very different take. I'm concerned about things, that events that happen later in the story that might I mean, like Harry Potter, the only teacher he has that he kind of doesn't like is the Black teacher.
Just knows he's up to no good, Chris.
Yeah, look, we're gonna know at least by episode 4 whether this was a DEI hire based on the way he acts. Because most of the time when they do race swaps and gender swaps, the actor is not up for the role.
I'm starting to think it was a lot more notorious than this, man. Like we're trying to make it sound like it's just some DEI thing. I don't think that's it. I think
notorious or nefarious, because I think it's both.
Well, the thing is, though, they've got too much money involved in this show.
But my point is, I think they knew that people hate J.K. Rowling, right? They knew that they call her transphobe, all this other shit, right? They know this. So to offset that, they hire the Black guy.
It is the DEI tax.
So now the racists are the problem, right? Yeah. The racists are the enemy. So therefore, it almost makes the people who hate J.K. Rowling have to defend the show, which is kind of genius, if I'm being honest with you. It makes them have to almost defend the show because they hate racism so much that they got to defend this actor in this show written by this author that they hate, right?
And that doesn't mean he's not talented, by the way. He could be the most talented person in the world.
No one is saying he's not talented. I'm sure he's a great actor. I think I've only seen maybe 1 or 2 of his stuff, but
if he wasn't black,
I think people sat in a board.
I think people described in the book, Alan.
I think people sat in the boardroom and came up with this plan, and I honestly don't think it's going to pay off for them the way that they think it's going to pay off.
Because Alan doesn't seem to get it. Don't tell me that you're going to give an accurate adaptation to the books. And Snape is clearly defined both in description and personality, and then give me fucking black actor. I don't care how. If he was Asian, I'd be just as upset.
Shawshank Redemption.
He's a white.
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was a white Irish
promised
dude.
Me an accurate adaptation of a fucking Stephen King novel. No, they just did an adaptation. This was promised one way, saying it's gonna be the most faithful ever, and it's not.
It's how they pitched it to the audience. It's going to be a faithful adaptation of the books. The films left out so much. They left out so much. This is going to be a 100% faithful adaptation, and then this is what they did.
Yeah,
I think we should wait and see.
Sure.
And not only that, but like the movies are so fresh in Harry Potter fans' minds. The movies are so fresh in their minds. They're still huge. This show is already getting compared to the movies. The trailer is already getting compared to the movies. So aside from Black Snape, every single bit of this trailer is being nitpicked by Harry Potter fans. Everything is being compared to the movies. And so far, what people are seeing in this trailer, aside from Black Snape, everything is lacking. It's lacking in every way to the movies. And it's already going in, having to compete, all of these actors having to compete with the previous actors who portrayed these characters in the film. And it's got that going against it. So it has to be at par or better, not worse. Because if it's worse, and so far a lot of Harry Potter fans are like, yeah, this isn't good at all.
You're not wrong.
We already know they're not
Ultimately,
going to faithfully adapt it because of Snape. But also the quality is just not there.
Right.
The movies are better in every single way.
Yeah, right.
And they're just comparing the trailer to the movie.
I mean, ultimately, you're right. Look, either way, this can't be a mediocre series, and it has to. Look, HBO has a reputation of,
and it has a track record.
Yeah, and so look, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I'm not asking you to do that, but I am.
Well, I mean, look, we're all going to watch it. Let's be honest here. We're all going to watch at least the first episode, at least. So it'll do well the first week, and everything's going to be based on that. So,
by the way, in the book, in the full cast audio, Snape is played by an Asian. So,
but also, we're 25 years away from the release of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So you're a quarter century away from when the first film came out. Mm-hmm. And even Daniel Radcliffe was saying he's happy that he can show his kids a Harry Potter that their dad isn't in. And I think that, and he made the point, he said, in my lifetime, since I played Harry Potter, there's been 3 different Spider-Men. And that only includes live action. And so I think that if this was any other network, I wouldn't necessarily have the faith I have in this.
Disney, I would be all on board with it.
Yeah. But I mean, this is HBO, and it looks like an HBO series, and I think we're going to get a show that feels like an HBO series. And I'm excited for that alone, because I've actually worked on a series, even though it was not this kind of a series, but working with HBO is a singular experience, and they really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look, they're calling it the Philosopher's Stone,
which is my first favorite thing they've done.